All right, so Robin, identifiers and reserved words are basic building blocks of any programming language, right?
Right.
An identifier is used to identify a module, function, variable, class, or really any other object. Now, you probably noticed that I used the terms function, class, module, and object just now. You were listening, right?
I was.
We will be seeing each of these in the subsequent modules. So let's get started with the identifiers of variables. Now, in its simplest usage, an identifier is basically just a name that we give to the variable, right? We're going to work with that definition for now, though we can also use it for functions, classes, objects, etc.
An identifier name starts with an uppercase or lowercase letter, A to Z, or an underscore.
Right.
Now, they can be followed by numerals 0 to 9, letters, or an underscore. So we should not use any punctuation or symbol characters such as at, dollar, and percent within identifiers as it causes an error.
Right.
So basically, Python is a case-sensitive programming language.
Yeah, exactly. I think you know what a good idea would be right now is to maybe show a list of the few naming conventions for Python. We'll throw them up on the screen here. Okay. Class name should start with an uppercase letter and all other identifiers with a lowercase letter. This is only a convention to help us understand and maintain code better. Now, if an identifier starts with a single leading underscore, then it indicates that the identifier is meant to be private. If it is started with two leading underscores, it indicates a strongly private identifier. Ending an identifier with two trailing underscores means that it is a language-defined special name.
So next comes the reserved words. And reserved words should not be used as constants, variables, or identifiers.
Right.
They should be in lowercase letters only.
Correct.
So some of the reserved words are and, exec, not, assert, finally, or, break, for, pass, class, from, print, continue, global, raise, def, if, and return.
I think you got them all.
I think I got them all.
Nice work.
All right, we will see how we use reserved words and identifiers later.
Okay.
We're now going to look at the syntax of a Python program. And I will also explain the syntax for a few language constructs in a demo.
Right. Cool. So as we said, Python is a simple language. It has no brackets, braces, or parentheses to mark blocks of code, code for classes, code for functions, etc.
Right.
Now this could make life difficult for a programmer. Python, however, has a different approach to address this problem, right?
Right. I mean, quite simply, Python relies heavily on indentation.
Yeah.
Blocks of code are denoted by line indentation and without braces. These indentations are rigidly enforced. The number of spaces in the indentation should be consistent in a block of code. Statements in Python generally end with a new line. Now, Python, however, uses the line continuation character // to denote that the line is continuing.
Right.
Statements within square brackets, curly braces, or parentheses need not to use the line continuation characters to start a new line.
Right.
Python allows multiple statements to be on a single line separated by a semicolon. Python allows single, double, and triple quotes to denote string literals. Remember to use the same type of quote to start and end the string. Triple quotes are used to extend the string across multiple lines.
Right, and in addition, a hash sign that is not used inside a string literal is considered a comment by Python. The interpreter ignores and takes all the characters as a comment that is used after a hash to the physical line. Python allows command line arguments as well. It means you can provide inputs via command line, making it interactive.
We're going to move on to data types in Python. And we talked about identifiers and reserved words. So we are back to identifiers or names of variables in this case. In Python, variables are reserved memory locations that are used to store values. Whenever you create a variable, some spaces are reserved for that in the memory. The interpreter allocates memory based on the data type of the variable specified.
Okay.
It also decides what can be stored in the reserved memory. So by assigning different data types to variables, you can store integers, decimals, or characters.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And when you assign a value to a variable, the declaration is done automatically. You don't need to have an explicit declaration of a variable in Python.
All right, so begs the question, how do you assign values then to those variables? Now you can do this using an equal sign. In an assignment statement, the operand to the left of the equals is the name of the variable and to the right is the value stored in that variable. Python also allows you to assign a single value to multiple variables variables simultaneously.
Right.
Now, we'll see more about standard data types in the next graphic.
Okay, so a classic example of standard data types is a person's age needs to be stored as a numeric value.
Of course.
And then his or her address needs to be stored as alphanumeric
yeah.
characters, right. Now, Python has 5 standard data types, okay? They are used to define the operations and storage for each of them. So these data types are numbers, string, list, tuple, and dictionary. Set is a variant of list. We'll look at each of these types in the subsequent graphics.
Great. All right. So we just saw, and you just mentioned, that there are 5 basic data types supported in Python.
Right.
Data types, of course, tell us about what kind of values can be stored in a variable and which operations can be performed on each of them. The Python language has an extensive set of operators. They are classified into different categories. There is also an order of preference in which order the operators get used in the evaluation of expressions.
Right. Now, Python has arithmetic operators to carry out addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponentiation, floor division, modulus, etc.
All those things I couldn't do in high school.
Oh, Jeff. It has comparison operators to compare the operands. This could be to check equality, inequality, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to.
Again, things I can't do.
It has assignment operators combined with standard arithmetic operators. So, for example, A plus equals B is the same as A equals A plus B.
So Python also has logical operators such as and, or, and not. In addition, Python has membership operators to check if something is a member of a sequence or not.
Right.
Now, there are 2 membership operators, in and not in. They are used to find out whether a variable is used in the specified sequence or not. Python has identity operators to compare the memory locations of 2 objects. There are 2 identity operators. What do you think they are?
How about is and is not?
See, you're thinking logically now.
Yes.
Well done. In Python, data can be converted from one type to another, as you know, and this is a key point to remember. It's critical.
Yes, it is. Okay, so now we're going to get to know a little more about number and string data types. Okay. Number data types store numeric values. They are immutable data types. Number objects are created as soon as you assign a value to them. So you can use the delete statement to delete the reference to a number. Python supports 4 different number types: int for signed integers and long for larger integers. You can also have octal and hexadecimal representation. Float is for floating point real values, and complex for storing complex numbers. All right, so remember, you should use a lowercase l for declaring long integer variables because sometimes it leads to confusion with the number 1.
Right.
A complex number consists of an ordered pair of real floating point numbers, and it's denoted by a plus b capital J, where a is the real part and b is the imaginary part of the complex number. So Python supports mathematical and trigonometric functions such as abs, ceil, CMP, exp, fabs, floor, log, max, min, mod f, pow, round, sqrt, sin, asyn, and hypot.
Nice work. Strings are a set of characters in between quotation marks. Python does not directly support character types. A character is treated as a string of length 1, as I mentioned earlier, and you can perform operations similar to other languages on strings. Python allows for either pairs of single or double quotes. I think you talked about that.
Right.
Subsets of strings can be used by slice operators, bracket, bracket, and bracket, colon, bracket, with indexes starting at 0 and -1 at the end. In Python, the plus sign is the string concatenation operator, and the asterisk is the repetition operator.
Okay, so what have we seen so far on data types?
A lot.
Yes, we have. In Python, number data types store numeric values. Strings are stored as a sequence of characters with a starting index of 0.
Right.
Strings can be enclosed in single, double, and triple quotes. Triple quotes are used for multiple lines.
Think you got it.
Got it?
Yeah.